Welcome back, CEO. You're listening to the CEO Shift Show, the movement for service-based business owners who are done running their business like a demanding job and ready to lead it like the scalable asset it's always meant to be. So this episode is not about resolutions or pushing harder or squeezing more out of yourself next year. This episode is your line in the sand because 2026 is not asking you to repeat last year's patterns. It's asking you to rise into a different way of leading, a way that's cleaner, more intentional, structured, has some boundaries, a way that finally allows your business to support your life instead of quietly draining. This episode is your bridge between who you were forced to become to survive and who you're now choosing to become now that you know better. So, before we go any further, if this show has helped you think differently, lead differently, or breathe a little easier in your role as CEO, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. This is how movements grow. It's not through algorithms, it's through resonance. And if you want to go deeper after today, there are 3 ways to walk this path with me. You can start with the free growth engine. It's tools and resources designed to bring clarity to overwhelmed CEOs. Or you can step into the tool vault where structure, systems, and strategy live. Or if you're really ready for guided transformation, you can work with me directly through one-to-one executive coaching. Let's get into the meat of today's podcast. There's a truth most CEOs don't want to face at the end of every year. Every one of us crosses December 31st in one of 2 states. Some literally drag themselves across the finish line, tired, reactive, mentally cluttered, carrying all those unfinished decisions and unresolved systems into the new year like an invisible weight. Others, they close the year deliberately. They claim their progress. They acknowledge what cracked open. They stabilize what needs to be stabilized before they actually move forward. And let's be clear, neither group failed, but only one group creates momentum. And here's where I'm going, because to be honest with you, this is leadership. 2025 showed you exactly where your business strained under growth. It revealed the gaps you worked around instead of fixing. It highlighted where you stepped in because the system wasn't in place yet. And it exposed where leadership slipped into management and where management slipped into control. This is the time to ask ourselves questions without judgment. So I want to ask you, what are you leaving behind from this year because it no longer fits into the leader you're becoming? Where did you overfunction to keep things moving? And where did you underlead by staying too close to the work? And which of these patterns cannot come with you into 2026? If you don't consciously release these patterns, they don't disappear. They quietly become the operating system for the next year. That's why this moment matters. This is your opportunity where reflection turns into intention. The CEO you're stepping into in 2026 doesn't lead from urgency, and they don't build from exhaustion. They don't carry the business on their nervous system. They lead strategically. They operate with structure, and they've learned how to hold boundaries with their time, their energy, and their standards. They don't react first and clean things up later. They design first, then execute. In 2026, you're becoming the architect, designing how it runs. You, as the CEO, instead of dependencies. You make decisions once, not the same decision week after week. You think in assets, not tasks, and you understand that a business is meant to support your life, not consume it. This is the year your business finally gives you more than it takes. It's because you actually stepped into leadership differently. There's 5 non-negotiables I see in every CEO who successfully makes this shift. They're not trends, they're principles. Number 1, clarify your priorities. Every overwhelmed work with is drowning in noise, not opportunity. One client came to me with 23 top priorities. I laughed out loud. We cut that down to 3. With that, the revenue stabilized within 90 days. Clarity creates momentum. So next step, identify one outcome that actually moves the needle for you this quarter. And let's focus on that one thing. So I've watched CEOs reclaim 10 hours a week simply by installing a non-negotiable rhythm. Let's look at how we can block CEO time before anything else touches your schedule. Growth. So growth without structure, it doesn't scale, it breaks, it fractures. One company I worked with increased revenue only 7% and swung from a $250,000 loss to nearly a $300,000 profit. Structure did that. So identify one process that currently relies on you. Document it. Let's start creating the foundations of your structure. Task management. These keep you busy. I want you to clarify ownership for one reoccurring issue this week. Leadership builds your capacity. And when expectations are clear, accountability in these things, well, it just becomes natural. Revenue without margin is just creating stress. Profit creates choice. Choice creates freedom. So review pricing and your margins, not just your sales. I want to be really clear that these are foundations and they're part of your everyday operating system. I'd like to give you something practical that you can carry into January. This is the operating system behind everything I teach. First, we audit the noise. We identify leaks, bottlenecks. We find all the overwhelm points. Second, we rebuild the weekly rhythm. Your time needs structure before your goals can actually be achieved. 3, setting the structure before the goals without architecture, while they collapse. And 4, let's see how we can install one small system per week. So small, consistent installs creates massive momentum. This is how businesses become assets, one deliberate system at a time. On January 1st, I invite you to do something really simple and powerful. Release one thing you carried this year that you no longer own or no longer belongs to you. Go ahead and reclaim one standard that you compromised and name one boundary that you will enforce. And choose the one system you will install first. Declare one identity shift you will embody, not perform, embody. This is how futures are built. Before we close, I want you to hear that 2026 is not going to be the year that you have to try harder. It's the year that you lead differently. Your future self, it isn't asking for more hustle. It's asking for clarity. It's dying for structure. It's yearning for decisions that don't need to be revisited every week. The business you're building right now is either draining tomorrow's version of you or supporting it. And that choice doesn't happen in January. It happens right now. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I know what needs to change, I just don't want to figure it all out alone, you don't have to. There's 3 ways to continue this work, depending on how much support you need. If you want to start gently with clarity and practical tools, the free growth engine inside the Scalable CEO Academy will give you structure without the pressure. If you're ready to build real systems, the kind that protect your time, stabilize your business, the Tool Vault is where everything gets installed step by step. And if you want guided transformation, someone to help you architect the business, hold the line on your standards, and keep you out of that reactive mode, then the one-to-one executive coaching is exactly where that happens. And none of these are about doing more. They're about doing what actually matters in the right order. And if this episode gave you language, clarity, or permission you didn't have before, like it, share it, and subscribe. This isn't just a podcast. This is a movement. I'll see you next year, CEO.